So yeah,
But
probably the part of the reason it didn't do that well is because there's a glut of sequels that came out this month. Big hit sequels. Yes, we had Sister Act 2, which weirdly enough directed by Bill Duke,
Oh, weird.
veteran character actor. Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember this one being much more of a musical than the first one.
hmm
Um, I never cared for either one, but
Mm.
I know you're a big fan of the original.
I just like Whoopi, mostly because of Ghost. And so when Sister Act 1 and 2 came out, we saw them.
I know they're doing a long gestating third one eventually. I thought maybe it was gonna start filming soon, but
So you just like Whoopi, man.
I love Whoopi.
Do you like to make Whoopi?
I love making Whoopi. I mean,
Yeah.
I didn't make Whoopi. Whoopi made Whoopi.
where do you like to
Whoopi
make
make you? Did Whoopi make you go make Whoopi?
Uma. Oprah.
Oprah? Would you
Yeah.
like to buy a monkey?
Wasn't
Hey,
that around now?
yeah, probably.
Uh,
When was Cabin Boy out? 95?
95.
Yeah.
Okay.
Um, another sequel I think is a little more respected. Wayne's World 2 came out this month.
Solid sequel.
Yeah, I enjoy. I actually like it better than the first one. Not take.
I like the
Uh,
Jurassic Park gag it used.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
The Terminator 2 reference.
Oh yeah, that.
Yeah. They got a lot of good cameos in there. Charlton Heston has a great cameo towards the end. Gordon Street. I remember a woman who lived on Gordon Street. You got to see it. You
I
gotta
guess
see
so,
it.
yeah. I need to see both of them.
Well, there you go. And if they again, this one has a rumored third entry that might happen, might not.
Mm.
Now this franchise has had plenty of sequels. Most of them went to straight to video after this. But Beethoven's second.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Can anyone take a guess of how many sequels there are?
I remember they
or there's
recast
they went up to 5, didn't they?
Charles Grodin after this, and it was Judge Reinhold.
What?
Yeah,
Oh my god.
because Charles Grodin said, "I ain't doing no
I was right.
stinking directed DVD movie."
Oh, I was wrong, actually. There are more than even I thought.
Oh God,
You have a guess, Jimmy, about how many Beethoven movies there
I
are?
want to say 7.
9.
9 Beethoven, including one that was a TV film.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
Yep.
Okay. Beethoven's been busy. I'll tell you that.
There's
He's impregnating
Beethoven.
every dog in the neighborhood.
They gave up after the Beethoven's Fifth. They did Beethoven's Big Break, Beethoven's Christmas Adventure, and it's coming up on the 10th anniversary of Beethoven's Treasure Tale. Yes, they were making Beethoven movies in 2014.
Hey,
Listen, with an IP that
why don't they have a
radar
crossover with
successful.
Air Buddy?
Yeah, they should have. Oh my God, they could have had a crossover
With those Air Bud
My
movies.
God.
We can be the ones.
Let's do it.
Jimmy looks so miserable.
Airbud X
I don't
Beethoven.
want to be associated with this.
I want Beethoven to train the next generation of Airbuds at playing basketball.
It's just like a trading places situation.
Oh my God. What if it's Freaky Friday, but now Airbud is inside Beethoven?
Yeah.
But you have a Mastiff playing basketball.
Yeah.
Oh god.
Everybody
Saint Bernard.
just freeze your video and look at Jimmy's face.
Yeah.
I was not
He's
here.
going to be the executive when we go to pitch this.
We're going to keep saying 3 people came up with this: Jeff, Tristan, and Jimmy. I don't want to worry you, Corey.
Yeah.
You're safe. You're safe. I actually like the sequel more than the first one, by the way.
Whoa.
Yeah.
It's got no Duchovny in the sequel, though.
Well,
That's true.
Beethoven.
Yeah.
I saw it twice in theaters.
Also, you're part of the reason they made a third one.
It's actually a mistake. You two remember Edison Movie Theater? It's more of an Indian theater now because of the Indian population that's around there. But back when we were kids, they used to have in the summer, they'd have like Tuesday matinee for $2 or something.
I do recall.
And Mom and I would go to something every week in the
Yeah.
summer. And one time we were going to Beethoven because I'm like, I've seen the second one. We went to see the second one. Let's see Beethoven. And they played Beethoven second. So we ended up having to rent Beethoven.
They're all the same.
I know,
Mm.
but we're sitting there like, do we leave? We watched this when
You've
it
seen,
came out.
What's his
you've seen
girlfriend's
one
name with
movie
the
about an
boner
out of
in it?
control dog. You've seen them all.
Fu-
Like 30 years
Fun
ago.
story. That theater on Fridays used to have Rocky Horror Picture Show.
They did.
Yeah.
But
Who's Beethoven's girlfriend with the boner here?
Is it like Rosie? I haven't seen it since that time, so that was like
I
30,
thought you saw it so many times, you know.
twice, and once was 28 years ago, once was 30 years ago.
I do remember because Denellen did something
Bell?
similar. They had like a summer
Old
movie
Bell?
club thing.
I don't know. I made that up.
Missy?
Missy,
Yeah, it's Missy.
is it?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, if nothing else, you get a great apoplectic Charles Grodin performance out of these, even if you don't like the dog stuff.
Yeah.
It's like Bob Hoskins on Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
Yeah, he's just constantly annoyed by his by his anthropomorphic sidekicks in these. He just hates them all.
Yeah.
So there was a Denzel Washington doubleheader that came out in December. The Pelican Brief, which is based on a John Grisham novel. It's him and Julia Roberts. And he also did
Mainstay.
Philadelphia with Tom Hanks.
I was gonna say Pelican Brief is a mainstay on Best Buy shelves all the time. At least when
Yeah.
I was working there.
Not anymore.
There were always like 20 of them just sitting there waiting to be bought.
Yeah. It's a decent movie, but it's way too long.
Yeah.
Things like 2 hours and 20 minutes.
Back in that day, you couldn't do that. Unless you
Well,
were
the
like Kevin
firm's almost
Costner.
3 hours, so
Yeah.
But,
everyone see Philadelphia?
Nope.
no.
Ooh.
Wow.
Most of it.
Ooh. It's a good movie.
Tom Hanks got his first Academy Award for this movie.
We should watch that.
Or some of it. I don't remember. Been a while.
Interesting fact. Tom Hanks' boyfriend in the movie is played by Antonio Banderas. It was originally offered to John Leguizamo. John Leguizamo turned it down because the role was too small, and he was being offered a lead role in what?
Super Mario Brothers.
Exactly.
Yeah. I wonder if that would have helped his career more. He's great in Summer of Sam, though.
I think he's good in Super Mario Brothers. He shouldn't be ashamed of that.
Not at
Yeah,
all.
no.
Yeah, what would you do if you were offered the lead in a film? As
I'm
opposed
sure
to
he's getting
bit parts?
paid significantly more, so it's like,
Yeah. I don't begrudge him.
nah.
I'm sure he would have been great, but Antonio.
And honestly, now that I
the heart
say
of
it,
that
does
film.
anybody really remember that Antonio Banderas was the boyfriend in that?
I was about to say that's the best part. I literally was saying that as you were asking.
Yeah.
He's great.
Yeah. But yeah, this was Jonathan Demme's follow-up to Silence of the Lambs.
He was killing it in the 90s.
Yeah. So again, it's weird. When Tristan and I were going over the guide, we kind of grouped stuff. So we just had the sequels, we just had the Denzel movies. So these are like kind of breakout roles for certain stars that came out this month. So What's Even Gilbert Grape was a launching pad for DiCaprio in a way. I mean, he had done This Boy's Life, but I think he got more attention for this.
This is where I first heard of him.
Yeah. It's a I don't remember much of the movie. I remember we had to watch a lot of it in school, but I remember
Really?
being pretty quirky. And honestly, it's Johnny Depp playing somebody who's not a cartoon, so that's always good when he plays actual human beings. Back when he was a character actor.
This is what I think people would cite as why he should get more acclaim.
Right.
And then, of course, he doesn't do this once he gets acclaim.
Right. It's yeah, like Jared Leto's in that mode right now. So
I would argue he was doing it in Finding Neverland and then people were sort of disappointed with that, so he dug into the
Yeah, it's
Sparrow.
like this is an exaggerated overacting. What?
I honestly think he's good in Finding Neverland, but
Well, yeah, he's fine. He's better when he's grounded. Even for as hyperbolic as Ed Wood is, he's grounded as that character. He doesn't feel like a caricature. But another movie that came out this month that put TV actor on the map on the big screen was 6 Degrees of Separation for Will Smith.
yeah, what I said to Corey was this is sort of what people would start to say. Oh, The Fresh Prince made a good movie. Maybe he could be a star. So this was sort of the launching pad for Bad Boys and Independence Day.
Yeah, Bad Boys has a whole production history we can get into when we talk about that. But
2 years.
yeah, but yeah, this one I remember this one being everybody was like, Donald Sutherland's good, but that Will Smith, he might have a future. That guy,
Yeah.
Kid's got chops.
He does steal every scene he's in.
Mm-hmm.
And again, he is the manipulator of the group. So
that's the point. Yeah.
Yeah. A movie that had a small theatrical window, but I think is large in the hearts and minds of Batman fans, came out this month. Animated movie, Mask of the Phantasm, which I think just got recently a 4K upgrade. I actually think the movie's
pass that up.
I think the movie's a little overrated, but
Really?
What?
Because they try to. It would have been better if it was like Hush or an established character, but they just create this Phantasm character out of nowhere.
I've always liked that though. Plus, without Mask of the Phantasm, you don't get. Well, I mean, Batman in general and Bruce Timm. You don't get the rest of the DC universe so animated.
Yeah, like now I think they've done better animated movies since then. Like recently, obviously, when they've done the extended animated universe.
Well, actually, Batman Hush wasn't written until 2002, so
well,
not have done that.
Okay. All right, comic book guy. I like the design of the character, but the character itself doesn't have a lot. It doesn't have interesting lore behind it. I feel like.
No, I think they were trying to make.
Well, wait till you get to Batman Beyond. Then it comes full circle.
That character is real good in Batman Beyond. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's interesting because I think they were trying to strike lightning twice because they had with Harley Quinn, which they created for the Batman animated series.
Right.
So then they would eventually integrate her into the comics, and she's become like her own huge character in the zeitgeist. And so they were trying to do another one, maybe because they also didn't have a lot of female villains. They thought that would be a good idea.
Yeah.
And also it'd be a little bit of a twist. So
what a twist.
Yeah. Also, they've done Man-Bat, so it's sort of like Phantasm is like a ghost version of Batman. I don't know. I think it was a good idea.
Yeah.
It just feels like a long episode rather than something that needed to be in the theater.
It definitely, it's a feature-length episode is what it feels like. It feels like a two-parter.
I mean, it was definitely targeted for kids because
that we're already watching.
It's from the animated series, and only kids were watching it. Like you don't to get later now till DC's pumping out more grown up animated movies.
I don't know what the thinking was behind the release, but maybe they were thinking, okay, it's perfect because it's a winter set film, perfect to take kids for Christmas itself, but it certainly would have done better if it came out in June '94.
I mean, it's also a good time for like the season break from television because they're probably like off season, and then also Christmas. Like they probably put the toys out in July.
There you go. So then you get the toys right out.
Yeah, because like the trailers come out and then the toys come out, the movie comes out, and then you buy more toys, then you buy the video, then you buy more toys.
Yeah. Well, that's just not how animated films.
The movie was meant for us when we were young.
Yeah.
It was supposed to feel like a long episode. Right. Get us through that winter.
I think it's a good gamble. It just didn't necessarily pay off.
Yeah. So a movie I get confused with two other movies. I think I finally have it cleared up now. Anthony Hopkins in Shadowlands. So Shadowlands is the one where he plays C.S. Lewis, the author, the theologian too. And Remains of the Day is one where he plays the butler, and then Howard's End is the one where he plays the aristocrat. So I got it now.
You know, there's a new movie coming out this month in
Shut up.
2023 called Fraud's Last Remorse, where Freud's
Last Session.
That was a Freudian slip. Freud's Last Remorse, where Anthony Hopkins plays Sigmund Freud having a conversation with
C.S. Lewis. Yeah. It's weird.
It's like the long gestating fourth movie of this series of Anthony Hopkins playing famous
people. So yeah, I finally have it cleared up. I haven't watched it yet, but I heard it's the best of the three. Weirdly enough. Of course. So Daniel Day-Lewis reunited with his My Left Foot director for In the Name of the Father.
Neil Jordan?
No, Sheridan.
Jim Sheridan. Okay, I knew it was an Irish guy. I don't know.
Yeah, so this is about he plays a one of these youths in Ireland who's erroneously arrested for one of the IRA bombings, and he's in prison for a long time. It's a good it's a very unflinching, hard-hitting drama, and obviously you don't expect anything less than a stellar performance from Daniel Day-Lewis, and he's fantastic in the film. Pete Postlethwaite, people might know him from The Lost World,
or
playing the poacher. He plays his father,
or The Town.
The Town,
or Brastoff. He got an Oscar nomination up against John Malkovich for supporting actor for this film. This is also one of the Best Picture nominees, In the Name of the Father.
Yeah. But as Tristan alluded to earlier, this will be the last one I end on before we go into Poster Boy. A big Western came out this month. Some people's favorites. It's called Tombstone.
Yeah.
And you talk about a stacked cast.
Jeff, you're muted.
Oh my god. I list everybody who's in the film.
Oh boy, off the top of my head, Kurt
You
Russell,
can probably do it.
Val Kilmer, Bill Paxton, Sam Elliott. Who's Curly Bill? It's
Billy Bob Thornton.
Sudden Impact. Johnny Ringo is our buddy Michael Biehn. Who's the guy from Sudden Impact? Why am I blanking on his name?
Sudden Impact?
Yeah.
You think it's Sudden Death? Sudden Death.
Sudden Death, yeah.
Oh, it's Powers Booth.
Powers Booth. He's the main villain. Oh, well, technically Michael Biehn would be.
Right.
You got Mr. Big from Sex and the City.
You got Dana Delaney.
Dana Delaney's the main female lead. The mom in the Hunger Games plays Wyatt Earp's first wife. Right. You got her acting partner is
Billy Zane.
Billy Zane, yeah, I had to do the hair's gone. His lover is played by Jason Priestley. Secret lover, that's inferred. Who else is there? Oh, the Locke from Lost is
Terry O'Quinn.
The mayor, Terry O'Quinn. Yeah. And then the sheriff, Johnny Behan. I forget his name, but he's not a huge actor. Wyatt Earp's own grandson is in the film as one of Johnny Ringo's gunmates. Thomas Church is in there. The main villain in Avatar, Stephen
Lang.
Stephen Lang is in there. He's Curly Bill's main associate. He gets a great scene towards the end. You got who's the narrator? He died after this film. He's Night of the Hunter.
Robert Mitchum.
Robert Mitchum narrates. Then you have Charlton Heston lets them stay at their ranch for a little bit.
He didn't die after this movie.
Robert Mitchum did.
He's in Dead Man.
Oh, he did another thing. Maybe
He's
someone
in
died,
Dead Man.
right?
One of your favorite westerns as well. He's in Dead
Maybe
Man.
he was. Maybe there's trivia about him not being able to be in the film,
Oh,
or
okay.
maybe he was sick.
Could have been.
Yeah. Dead Man came out the next year, so he could still have died after making this.
Fair enough.
Dead Man might have gestated. Who else was there? There's
Did you say Billy Bob?
Peter. You said it. Peter Quill's father is one of the guys.
Peter Quill's father is Kurt Russell.
No. Well, yeah. Both Peter Quill's fathers are in this. How about
Hey.
a couple other people? Who else was in there? That's pretty much it.
I don't think it's a stretch to say this is probably one of the best westerns ever made.
So, Kurt
I
Russell.
think Jeff doesn't like westerns. I think this was one that
Have you
I don't
seen
know if
this,
he's
Jeff?
seen it or not.
No, I like that one. I watched
seen
it
it,
with
okay.
you. Yeah.
Okay, good. I don't know.
Yeah.
I show this to everybody.
Right.
Great movie.
Kurt Russell set out to make a epic on the scale of The Untouchables, on the scale of The Godfather, and eventually just took over the film when the director wasn't up to snuff.
Apparently that's not true, remember?
He says he didn't. Everyone else says he didn't. I think it's
Who did we talk to? Michael Biehn?
Yeah, you trust one person.
I don't know. He seemed kind of pissed off when we asked him.
Well, he's
So-
at a Comic-Con, so he's probably just pissed off in general. I think
Wait, what is it? What?
we met Michael Biehn at a Comic-Con. And we asked
No.
him Corey asked him if Kurt Russell actually directed. And I'm sure
He looked at me like I was an idiot. He's like, no, it's a
Yeah.
damn rumor.
Yeah.
It's
So
like,
either he's
alright.
covering up or the rumor just persists anyway. Kurt Russell himself has said, well, I took some hand in it. It's not literal.
I already dealt more with the actors, not the technical stuff.
I mean, we talk about, Corey and I used to relate about Jurassic Park 3. Essentially, Joe Johnston got too busy with the technical stuff, and there were times when William H. Macy and Sam Neill were just making up their own dialogue.
Yeah.
But that's essentially what I think Kurt Russell was doing. I think he'd go into a scene and say, what are we saying in this one? Maybe we can punch up the script. And maybe it was a collaborative thing where the director was there, but Kurt Russell and that director, conferred rather
George
than
B.
Kurt Russell being
Cosmatos.
like, go this way, I'm directing now,
You know what's funny? This isn't the first time I've heard that happen on a Cosmatos movie.
Yeah.
Because
that's
I heard the same thing happen with
Cosmatos.
Yeah, I heard the same thing happen with Cobra, where Stallone just kind of took over directing.
Yeah, and does took over mean helped or kick out and direct yourself? I think it
I was
means
gonna say it could be.
he'd go every night and be like, what are we doing tomorrow? Let's see how we can punch it up and make it the best we can.
I
There's
mean,
nothing
back
wrong
then,
with that.
Stallone was a big star, and he was a director as well. So,
Right.
Again, he could have his ego may have gotten in the way.
Yeah, I think it's more of a collaborative thing for everybody on set rather than just Kurt Russell
Also,
using Cosmatos as a stand-in.
if I recall, Michael Biehn kind of said that, well, Kurt was the centerpiece of the movie, so of course we take our cues from Kurt because
Right.
he's playing Wyatt Earp. So
Right. So I think it's more of did this work for all of us? It's not like Thomas Hayden Church went over and helped direct the scene he's in,
Right. Now I know we talked about The Doors. Do we think that this is Val Kilmer's best performance? It's most quotable of his performances for sure.
I think this is, we'd have to look back at what we picked for Val Kilmer, but
Could be in his tops.
yeah. It's tough. I think both of those films are his best films.
Yeah.
I think I
They're
picked
really good
Batman.
movies.
But...
Batman.
Mm.
You're just being a troublemaker now.
I could go on and on
Listen,
about
I'm here to
Tombstone.
skew the curve.
Yeah.
You guys watch these movies. I just
He's the wild card.
Yeah, he's a wild guy. He's a loose cannon, this guy.
One interesting aspect of this is how much we take this film specifically to heart about the gunfight at the OK Corral.
Yeah.
And Jimmy and I just saw an older film from the 40s starring Henry Fonda as Wyatt Earp called My Darling Clementine.
Oh, yes.
I gotta see that.
Well, that movie was so just Hollywood.
It's very different. And we were looking into the actual history of everything, and it turns out that Dana Delaney character, the real woman who becomes Wyatt Earp's wife eventually, sort of wrote the history of Tombstone because there really was no one paying attention. Like the OK Corral isn't where it even happened. She's tried to erase Maddie, Wyatt's first wife, because she didn't want to be known as the girl that was going around to different towns and performing for everybody, you know? And so there's a lot of myths around Wyatt Earp, who lived until Hollywood days. So he was often
They
conferring.
made a movie about that.
Right. So he's allowed to make his own legend. So the legends we know about people aren't necessarily ever true. Like this whole snafu with Napoleon shooting the pyramids or whatever. It's good and bad to have it be historically inaccurate. It's like what's more cinematic. I also think it can open up a discussion about what actually is true, and all we have is what's written down. So
what was the thing with the Napoleon and the Sphinx?
Well, apparently in this new Napoleon movie, there's a lot of historical inaccuracies. One of the things is that Napoleon himself drummed up a legend of him shooting the pyramids as he took Cairo.
I don't even remember him doing that.
Oh, I heard in art history
that might be in a cut
that, like,
that's not
his
in the
troops were just shooting at it for target practice.
Right. And that's the whole myth. Did that actually happen? It's not written down. There's no footage of it, you know. So it's how we take truth with a grain of salt. That's what we should do with historical movies. Even stuff like In the Name of the Father. Like, you don't want to assume everything is perfectly accurate because sometimes it's made to be cinematic, but it's a pathway to discussion, I think.
See, like, the weird thing is, for the most part, especially towards the end of Tombstone, it is pretty historically accurate. Because honestly, if they had skewed it a little more, obviously, like you said, Powers Booth would have been the main villain that they go up against at the end, but he just they kill him off pretty early on.
Well, relatively for
Michael Biehn
runtime
becomes the main villain.
Early on, in terms of where the climax is.
In terms of the climax, in the law of economy of characters, he would have been the last one.
Right. Yeah, I think that's a nice twist because the real thing is it's about Doc Holliday, which is ironically what My Darling Clementine does too. So I think they always like to drum up a cooler actor as the sidekick and gets a cool death scene.
And obviously, of the two, now Jeff would have hated Wyatt Earp because that's like 3 hours long. And it basically is cradled to the grave. This obviously distills Wyatt Earp down to the shootout, the OK Corral, and everything surrounding Tombstone, the town. But and
speaking of films coming out simultaneously, this did great in December '93, and then Wyatt Earp bombs in '94.
Right, and we'll talk about that more next year. But yeah, this is definitely the superior of the two.
I should watch it finally. Wyatt Earp.
Good luck.
Yeah.
Boring.
As a huge fan of this, I want to see how it is comparatively.
You know, Dennis Quaid does a fine job as Doc Holliday.
Yeah. Who does Michael Madsen play then?
He plays this. Is he the Sam Elliott or Bill Paxton part?
Oh, okay.
He's got to be Bill Paxton because he's younger.
You guys like It's a Wonderful Life?
I just saw it first time here.
Bert the cop plays the Sam Elliott part in the Henry Fonda version.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Good old Bert.
Yeah, he's a big character actor, turns out. You watch a lot of movies in the 40s, he's going to show up, apparently.
Hey, I know that guy.
Yeah. He's just like Bert the cop these days.
Hey, Bert.
That's fine.
Officer Kropke, I know him.
Yeah. This is going to be a fun top 5 this year. 3 of my favorite movies of all time are in '93.
Homeward Bound's in '93.
It is. We talked about it back in
So that's right.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing the Poster Boy is not in your top 3.
That's a good movie. I'm going to preface this with there are no taglines. There's no jokes about this per se. But
well, Jimmy, don't you dare, Jimmy, man. He'll find a joke in there somewhere.
I know this isn't.
Listen, that's what we do. Jimmy and I are the comic relief.
Yeah.
You try with this. Oh my God.
It's darkness.
It is darkness. I have
It's like one of those after shadows that you see in Hiroshima photos.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
it's a Godzilla movie.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so it's a black gray background with a bunch of typeface numbers. And obviously all the important bits are smudged out. It looks like someone just exploded.
Looks like a
Also,
smokestack.
I'm not going to have you try to make up a film based on this.
I mean, judging by the
I
numbers,
just want to know if you have seen this.
I've never seen it. I don't think it looks, judging by the numbers of the background, this is either a war movie or a serial killer movie.
It's the first one.
Okay.
Now, next I give you the whole image, but a little blurry.
Okay. Okay.
That made it worse.
That's
I know.
Get told the
this
fuck.
is okay. It just looks like a melted chocolate bar right now.
Okay. Yeah, I knew coming out of nowhere you did not know what this is.
That looks like a
No.
melted Charleston chew.
Yes. Yes, that's that's what I was thinking of.
I'll show you what it actually is.
Oh. Wait.
I think he knows this.
I know what movie it is.
Is this Schindler's
I hate you.
List?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Yeah, I hate you so much.
Best picture
hate you.
of 1993.
Yeah.
We want to see if we could.
I saw that
Don't worry,
red
what's the
jacket. I
tagline?
saw that red
And
jacket.
then I'm trying to figure out how to make this into a poster boy, and I'm like, I don't want him to like make jokes about this.
Technically, I was right both times with both guesses.
Serial killer
But
movie.
He came, he saw, he made lists. What's the tagline?
There's no tagline. It's just as a film by Steven Spielberg. Actually, there is another one. Did I delete that? There was.
It's got
I was
Liam
trying to see if
Neeson's
I could
face
make
on
the
it.
other poster boy or the other poster into poster boy. It's the one of the people in the camp and that girl with the red dress in the back. And I took out the girl, and I think he would have known.
Yeah.
I can share the screen again.
That's the only splash of color in the movie, so.
Yeah.
You can see it again. Oh, there's an ad. Never mind, we'll cut
I
that.
think it was a good thing
You can see
completely blurred that movie out. That
Boy.
poster.
Yeah, I would have erased this, but the
What?
tagline here is a story of courage that the world needs now more than ever.
All right, Jesus.
Yeah, like what are we gonna do with that on poster boy? You know?
Also, it's the 25th anniversary one. You want the one from the time period.
Okay.
Come on.
Well, either way, this is a heavy film. For
Either
sure.
way,
Oh yeah.
I still haven't seen the movie.
Yeah. Well, it's a tough one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I borrowed it from Mike.
Feel good
Garage.
comedy of the decade.
My parents and I had never seen it, so we borrowed it from our friend Mike, and it took 5 years to get to it because we're like, do you want to pop Schindler's List on? Like, we're gonna be done for the rest of the day after we watch this.
So should we get some Orville Redenbachers and just
Yeah,
it's out? Like, what are we?
Dad even ended up just not watching. He's like,
We're not putting anything in the oven as a
Order
treat,
some,
for this,
oh,
right?
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. No, I saw that movie in genocide studies class in high school.
Right. So
Yeah.
Sorry.
it's tough to want to watch this film, but it is.
I mean, I
it is a
want
well
to.
done.
It's just, it's not to want to watch it. It's like, oh, this is a classic. I should watch this. It's finding an appropriate time.
Right.
You-
It's not like,
this
oh,
is
I
not
gotta
a
rush
game-
home from work.
This is
to
this is
watch
not the thing you bring over to movie night at your friend's house.
Right.
Oh boy,
Yeah. This is
we watched 50 First Dates last week. What do we got this week? Well,
That's historically inaccurate. 51st Dates wasn't produced by them.
Oh my god. The
You know about the production
93,
history of this, right?
the year that Steven Spielberg had making this in Jurassic Park.
So he left.
is insane.
He left the post of Jurassic Park so he could go film this.
Yeah, he would watch dailies of, or at least dailies of the editing room while on set in Europe. So he'd be trying to direct, he'd go and film one of the most harrowing scenes he's done in his entire career, still to date. And then he'd go back to his hotel room and watch like Mr.
Dinosaurs.
Hey.
My God.
Like,
Jeff
what
Goldblum
am I
being
doing?
wacky.
I
What
mean,
am I-
listen, that is a way to manage the emotional depth of like, because this is a weighty thing to write and direct. Or no, he didn't write it; he just directed it. But like,
I
still,
think it was Steve
Zalian
Zalian
did
wrote
to
it.
do that, so that was probably part of his plan. Because he's like, I'm just gonna go sit and watch dinosaur nonsense at the end of the day
Yeah.
and see how you
Yeah.
guys are doing over there.
What he should have done is splice the two movies together.
Oh God, no! Why?
As a hybrid.
Hmm.
Hammond's List.
Well, if the dinosaurs eat Hitler, then that's worth it.
Now there's a sequel.
Great. We put it out into the universe. It's going to happen someday.
The Jurassic World's looking for options on what to do next.
God, go back in time.
Where, just do it.
No, 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 no! Could you
Just
imagine
do
Red
it.
Bull
So
what-
guys?
so Chris Pratt
Velociraptor pops out
hijacks
and he
it.
goes, "Clever girl."
He takes one of the raptors, goes back in a time machine, and kills Hitler.
See, that's why they were training those velociraptors. See?
Yeah.
I'm done.
Got to get through Berlin.
Click on the Third Reich. You said we couldn't make jokes about this. I defied
So-
you.
I think
Yeah.
you have to.
So
Out of-
Liam Neeson was good at coming out of Darkman.
Yeah, Qui-Gon Jinn really did
Would you have
pull
expected
it
this?
together in World War II.
Yeah. You've obviously seen Schindler's List. You saw it in Genocide Studies. So yeah, 3 of us have seen it at least. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was hard. How would you not give this Best Picture? I mean, it's just
Yeah.
It feels like, you get a.
And the best picture is
You
Homeward
feel
Bound.
guilty not doing that.
right. I
Like,
mean,
all
the
right,
other
fine,
films
just
were.
Take it.
I know In the Name of the Father was, but I think what else was there? It was Schindler's List. Obviously wins. The Fugitive, In the Name of the Father, The Piano, and The Remains of the Day.
Okay.
Which is one of those Anthony Hopkins movies that you keep getting confused.
I got it now.
Yeah. I mean, Howard's End was nominated the year before, so that makes sense why that just continues the trend. The Piano would probably win in any other year.
Right.
In the Name of the Father is also a hard-hitting, timely film.
Mm,
And The Fugitive came out of nowhere. I remember reading recently that Harrison Ford and Tommy Lee Jones are like sitting in the rain, like
they thought the script was
"This is gonna
horrible.
kill my career," and it came out of nowhere and had the most nominations. I think.
Yeah. Which is weird for that to be not. Normally, action movies don't get nominated for Best Picture.
Yeah, but people often cite it as a drama. It's clearly like
Action drama.
airplane book thriller.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know how you choose anything else over Schindler's List to be Best Picture.
Well, obviously, Ray Fiennes lost to Tommy Lee
Infamously,
Jones.
yeah, that's the weird one. Like Tommy Lee Jones is great, but he's been better in other things.
Sure.
Ray Fiennes gives his career performance in Schindler's List. I mean, even Liam Neeson probably could have and should have perhaps won over Tom Hanks for Philadelphia, though he
What
gives
did-
maybe his career performance.
What did
tough.
Tommy Lee Jones win for?
The Fugitive.
Oh, right.
Yeah, and he was up against Ray Fiennes. He was up against John Malkovich for In the Line of Fire. Pete Postlethwaite for In the Name of the Father. And Leo for What's Eating Gilbert Grape.
Damn, Leo maybe should have gotten it.
All 5 are good there too, but like Tommy Lee Jones is probably 5 out of 5.
As I say, it's tough. They're all
Honestly.
good nominees.
Yeah. And it's not even a career arc thing. This is sort of what made Tommy Lee Jones even more famous. He was kind of
As I say, 90s, he blew up.
yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
He's
In
in
4 more years, we get his best role ever.
I was gonna say he's in Jeff's favorite Batman movie.
Yes.
My favorite
I was
Batman
referring to
movie,
Men in Black, but
Who was referring?
Oh, yeah.
No, you're talking about
it's
Yeah.
true. He was my first exposure to Two-Face.
There you go.
So
So that wraps
I-
up the year.
I left the picks of the month up to you guys, sort of. I mean, I feel like it could be Matt Damon because I don't know what else we would have that we would actually cover for him this year or this decade.
What about Duvall?
We could do Duvall because this is one of his career best. He has a ton of movies. And Gene
Oh,
Hackman,
yes.
we actually didn't do back in
Shock.
February 1990.
No?
Back
We
when we
did
were doing,
when we did
look
Loose
back-
Cannons.
I looked back at Loose Cannons episode, and we were doing picks of the month up to what we were watching in August 1990 when we recorded our February or 2020 when we recorded our February 90 episode. because we weren't doing it based off of the film we were covering. Because we were covering all films for the month back then. We just had a focus. And so we were sort of unmoored on what we were doing for picks of the month. Like, Jimmy picked Gundam. I talked about the movie 42 because I had just watched it. You know, Corey said something that came out in August 2020. I forget what.
Yeah, but this was back in the early days when we didn't know what to talk about.
You know what you watched, Corey? It was that film that's really with the sad boy on the cover. What's that? Like
Schindler's List?
Come and See?
Oh, Come and See. Oh, the Criterion.
You've apparently just seen Come and See.
Yeah, that was depressing.
I'm trying to think of what Jeff said, but it wasn't something to do with Gene Hackman. That's the point. So we could do Gene.
Genie boy.
I mean, I haven't seen much of his stuff. Actually, no.
Gene Hackman?
I'm going to pick.
Yeah, which of those three guys I think would you want to do? Because Jason Patric has too short of a career. And Wes Studi's best films we already mentioned.
I'd like to do Duvall, but
fine with that. I'm fine with any of the three. I like all three. So
I mean, Duvall's got a. You definitely seen a lot of his movies, so
yeah.
Yeah.
You want to look him up and think about.
I'm going. Even though he's got a small role in it, Apocalypse Now.
Okay, good choice.
Oh no, that's a good role. That's a good role in Apocalypse. Now, it took me a second to remember. Like, who is he in that movie? Yeah, no.
He smells napalm in the morning.
Yeah, he loves it.
Oh yeah, best one-liner ever. No, there's plenty of good ones, gooder ones.
Let's give me one Mississippi.
I mean, Corey, you sort of let me have it, but Tender Mercies is his best film.
Yeah, man.
It's the movie that
I was hoping you were gonna pick that.
Yeah, I can't pick anything else. If you had picked it, I could have found something else, but because he has another good bit part in MASH.
Yeah.
He was in the original version of Handmaid's Tale.
Yes, which I watched in high school. He's the commander.
Yeah.
Funny enough, the commander in the new one is Bradley Whitford. I believe he might be one of the of Red or whatever's.
I'm just going to sleep here for a while.
Yeah,
that's inappropriate. Because of what the Handmaid's Tale is about.
Well,
yeah. It is appropriate that we're picking Robert Duvall. He is probably he's probably going to be my choice for Lifetime Achievement Award for the Edgars this year.
Awesome.
So, I guess this is the announcement.
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
Oh shit, he was in Newsies. I'm going with Newsies.
Sure was.
What the fuck?
Basically has a cameo in that, doesn't he? He's Joseph Pulitzer.
He's Joseph Pulitzer. Okay. It was either that or Thank You for Smoking.
Oh, great role. Also,
that was a cameo too.
You know what? I haven't seen it in such a long time, but The Eagle has landed.
Good movie.
Okay.
I just found
that was such a long time.
I just found that in my box of movies. If you want to rewatch it.
Oh yeah, no, definitely.
I forgot I bought that on a trip with Corey.
He was Boo Radley.
Yes,
That's
his
right.
first role.
That was his first role.
Boo Radley.
Yeah.
Wow.
Like, there's a good reason I'm picking him for Lifetime Achievement. He's been acting since the 60s and in good roles.
He's in the original True Grit.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah, so I wonder if he and Matt Damon stayed friends and he talked to him about it. It's not like Matt Damon played his part. That's the dude, the sniper from Saving Private Ryan. Barry Pepper plays his part.
Yeah.
He was in a couple episodes of the Fugitive TV
Barry
show.
Peps.
The original, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
Good career.
I'm ashamed of how few things I've seen of his, actually.
What's the thing you want to see? That you
Godfather 2.
I mean,
he's great in the Godfather movies. You haven't seen Godfather?
None of them. And I went to the same college as what's his face.
Frank?
Yeah, good old Coppola. Good old Frank Coppola.
Frankie?
It's okay. I don't think he minds.
It's okay.
The wine guy?
Busy doing Megalopolis.
He has a lot of uncredited cameos like he does in Thank You for Smoking. Like the conversation, he's like the guy at the end.
Oh wait,
Tristan, you just saw him in a movie. where he
THX
was
1138. I
Just
did
saw
see
him
that.
in Geronimo.
No. Civil Action.
Oh, a Civil Action's great. Yeah, I'm hoping we might cover that for the podcast. Actually, that could have been a good Robert Duvall time.
Mhm.
Oh well, can still do Gene Hackman if you want.
THX 1138. I changed my answer.
Okay,
That's
so
a
you're
good
gonna
one.
do THX 1138. I'm gonna do Tender Mercies. We got Apocalypse Now and The Eagle Is Lame.
There
Yep.
you
That covers a lot of good roles he had. We could do a second Robert Duvall, honestly, for a Civil Action. He's so good.
Yeah, I mean, if we do a second one, I'm going with MASH.
By then he'll be 100.
go.
He's turning 93 or 4, I think, in January. So
Nice.
it's also.
They're still doing stuff.
I mean, he and Hackman are around the same age, so we only have so much time
yeah.
with both of them. Fun fact: they're both roommates in New York City when they were just starting out.
With who else?
Dustin Hoffman.
Yeah.
Wow.
Imagine the parties they had.
Well, I heard about him.
What a powerhouse.
Robert Duvall's
of
going
fanatic.
on record about it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of parties, we're at the end of our year, so we're going to get together again in person for our best of 93. That's coming out just 2 weeks after this. So we're going to wrap up the year with that and discuss our top 5, talk about what we learned this year, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So hopefully you join us for that and look forward to our 5th year in 1994. This one of my favorite years in cinema, probably the year that started me off on the track that we're on now. So I'm excited to talk about it with you boys.
Oh, yeah.
See you in a few weeks.